This is Leaf Life. All things cannabis for all people. Now, Ricker and the Bearded Lorax.
We publish a free magazine that's called The Leaf, and it's available in print in 14 states at your local cannabis retailer. And go online and check us out at leafmagazines.com. Thanks for tuning in. I mean that too. I'm Mike Ricker, and I'm your host of Leaf Life with my co-host Wes Abney, who is also known as the infamous Bearded Lorax.
I speak for the trees.
And of course, there's AJOG.
Hola, aloha, OG.
And Mary J. White.
Baked with love.
We live in the world's largest democracy, where our right to free speech has served as the ballast for fairness and equality for 248 years. But today, as woke ideology directs the narrative, is it a good thing that you can be arrested for hurting someone's feelings? This is censorship.
Wow.
Remember, they don't ban hate speech. They ban the speech they hate.
Oh, wow. That was a little bit heavy duty right there.
Serious.
Our first segment, the internet and social media. And our second segment, public perception. But before we get educated, we've got to get medicated. So let's get stoned. Yep.
Let's go.
All right. Thanks for listening once again. Wherever your day has led you, now it's time to fire up, chew up, drink up, get in the mood as we introduce this show's Greg the Guinea Pig.
Hey, what's up, y'all? It's Greg the Guinea Pig. Who's our guest this week?
Greg the Guinea Pig warning. These tasks are undertaken by experienced cannabis users and under the supervision of accredited professionals. So please take our advice and definitely try this at home.
Hear that legalese, Mary?
Yeah. It's impressive.
Tom OSINSKI is an entertainment and business attorney who has represented rock stars and celebrity cannabis brands. Tom, welcome back to the Leaf Life podcast.
Thank you to be back.
Yeah, you're on the Trademark show previously, I believe it was, right?
Yeah, trademark and porn and
porn and cannabis, one of our top 5 all-time downloaded shows. There was no naughtiness on it, apparently.
No, hardly any.
That's a First Amendment great show.
Yeah.
Go back and give a listen to.
Absolutely.
All right, so Tom's not going to be smoking, so let's call in a pinch hitter.
And now, stepping up to the plate, here's today's pinch hitter.
Batter up.
All right, AJ, this is your big moment, so let's spin AJ's wheel to see what's in AJ's stash.
And now, what's in AJ's stash?
Here we go, AJ.
All right, y'all. I am looking forward to this. We've got some concentrates coming to bat. And this one here is called the Kitchen Stank.
That's the strain name, yeah.
That's the strain name. It's regeneratively grown, and it's actually an owner-operator that grows it and, produces and the full circle.
Nice.
And the brand is Retrograde.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Yeah. It's where Mercury's been hanging out, huh, Mary?
Not yet, but August 5th.
August 5th,
Mark your
Mercury
calendar.
goes back in retrograde. Jesus fucking Christ.
I know. Shit gets weird.
Oh, my God. AJ's got the
Okay.
Puffco proxy going. All right.
I thought.
Retrograde
You guys.
cannabis.
My apologies, you guys. I thought I had it, but these Puffcos, they're really sleek technology.
Yes, they are beautiful.
Absolutely beautiful. But you do gotta know how to push the buttons.
Yeah,
Oh.
don't push Wes's buttons. He will light up like that Puffco. Hey,
He's sensitive.
there's
Oh,
the
wow.
XO.
Nice.
That Puffco, the color of
They
it,
smoke so well.
the rainbow color of it matches the aesthetic of the room with our banners, our tapestries here with big old pot leaves.
Wow.
Hey, if you love YouTube, go to youtube.com and look up Leaf Life Podcast V2. Be a part of the family. There
That
we go.
was a bomb concentrate, you guys. You got to get out there and try that Retrograde.
All right, the kitchen stank.
Yummy.
All right, the internet and social media. When it comes to censorship, those are probably the most censored areas, or the most censored area, because everyone likes, to express themselves on their own channels. And that's what it's for. It's for your personality to shine. But if you say the wrong thing, or if you smoke cannabis on there, they're going to ban you or shadow ban you.
Yeah.
And is that a good thing for society?
Not in the least, by any means. The entire concept behind the First Amendment is the idea, well, we say it's more speech, not less speech. If you don't like what someone has to say, you don't like where someone's going to go, then you go ahead and you say what your issue is with it. You don't try to stop them in the first place. It's it's the core idea behind it that goes back and why it was written into the First Amendment. I will point out, people like to say, well, that's why it's the First Amendment because it's our first principles, everything. Actually, that was the Third Amendment. The first two were very boring and got struck out. But in the end, it did turn out to be our First Amendment, and for good reason, because yes, more sunshine. Sunshine is the best disinfectant, has always been the idea. Put if something's damaging out there, pull it out in the light of day and pull it apart. And that's been all the way back into Enlightenment thinking.
And the internet was free in the beginning, and I don't mean like free because you always paid for it, but there wasn't regulation or oversight of it. So you could really find information and access to non-mainstream narratives. And then it led to social media, which in the beginning had an even larger increase in my purview of free speech. Oh, yeah. And then all of a sudden, once social media became ubiquitous and the newspapers really died and the media really narrowed, all of a sudden everyone's on it. And it seems like that's when the algorithms and the companies have come in and said, we can control this or censor this or deem it misinformation.
Well, and how many, I'm sorry.
Please.
I'm just going to say, I've been like kicked off Facebook for 24 hours or 36 hours for a picture of my plants.
Wow.
You know? I mean, I'm not saying smoke it. I'm not saying buy it. It's the fucking plant. Fuck you.
That is ridiculous.
Pisses me off.
Yes,
and
say
as
that,
it
Mary.
should. But, I've been dealing with this a long time, and you're right. Things first expanded. We all remember MySpace and what we put on our wall and our top friends and all this. But things change. Things change when Facebook came along and then all its extensions out to Instagram and thing. And I'll tell you, and the big thing that happened was they figured out how to make money. They figured out how to make money with this. We had these companies, they went ahead and they went public. And at that point, then all the interest, all the drive and everything is how to maximize those profits. And you also have to remember something else about social media is you're the product. You're there. They're there mining your data so they can sell you to advertisers and do demographic searches and all that sort of stuff. So on one token, yes, they absolutely want to drag in as many people, get as many people using that as they can. But at the same time, in the aggregate, you're one of 40 something is like 4 billion users or something that are on Facebook. I haven't looked at the stats lately and all that. 4 billion accounts. How many of those are real is always what the question is. Yeah. But there's probably 2 billion active users if I was to guess.
Cannabis.
Yeah, that's true.
And they don't have an obligation to care for you. Kind of like
not at all.
A lot of people don't realize that police officers in the United States do not have an obligation to intervene in a crime. It's their duty to. But there have been Supreme Court cases that have said police officers don't have to necessarily put their lives on the line to save you. Same with these social media companies.
Wow,
they have a big PR presence around caring about the users, but they really don't care when you're the product. They don't have an incentive.
Well, no, they don't. I mean, their incentive is to keep a high level of people using, but also this is when you find out, you bring a pointy-headed lawyer on you. That case you're referring to is actually out of New York. It's a negligence standard. So all that happened with the police officer was it was a woman and she knew that her husband was going to attack her and kept going to the police, said, protect me. And the police were like, we can't just randomly protect you. It's before DV orders and everything.
Colorado.
You might be thinking of a different one, but you're right. There was one, but the one that got thrown at.
They were on the subway train and they watched a guy go on a stabbing spree.
Right. There's that one and that as well. But what's funny, what I was trying to get is that was a negligence standard, and that's what it says about the police is that the police can't be held to a standard like you could sue someone for not running your car right or anything like that. So they still do have duties. And the reason I'm actually doing this right now isn't to quote unquote correct you.
I appreciate it.
Well, we can argue about the McDonald's case too if it comes up. It's one of my pet peeves. But it's to point out about the idea that this stuff is nuanced. It's very specific. So, for example, with what you're talking about, social media is absolutely based on the idea that this is also, they entice you, but it's a free service. So I was kind of making some comments before the show, and you could sit there and go, okay, there's terms of service. This is a contractual relationship that's between the people and all that stuff. But you're getting it for free. So what's your real standing to turn around and say, well, I'm going to sue Facebook because they didn't follow their terms of service.
Or my kid killed themselves or, became weird.
Yeah.
and all that sort of stuff. But it's a free service that people are voluntarily opting in to use. You're opting into those terms of service. So that's part of what gives them such huge power. And then the flip side of it is this thing called the Section, I want to say 239 of the CDA, the Communications Decency Act from way back when the internet was more free, to use your example, which said we're going to treat anybody on the internet like they're a publisher. They're not, as long as they're not curating the content, they're not responsible for what's up there. Well, they hide behind all that, but now these algorithms are curating the content, and that's where the fight is. They're sitting there and going, okay, we're doing these terms of service. We're deciding what we will or what we're going to shadow ban. We're going to take you off because of your plants. We're going to stop people for, I know later you're all fired up about the Twitter files, and we'll get to that and those kinds of information.
Oh yeah.
But in that sort of stuff, but then at the same time, they're always coming back, we're publishers. We have absolute immunity under the Communications Decency Act. We're in Section 239. We're supposed to be safe, and they try to wear both hats at the same time. And in the end, what are they doing? It's still maximizing profit is what's going to drive it.
While lobbying.
Sure. Lobbying in and of itself
for
is
themselves.
The same thing. Exactly.
Yeah. So they have that self-feedback loop.
Right.
And what you mentioned about the algorithm curating the content is very interesting because if you took like 3 phones and started 3 Instagram accounts at the same time and you started following like left wing, right wing, and then cats.
Yes.
Mary and I are going for the cats.
Right.
But, your feed is going to go to the left, to the right,
absolutely,
or straight into Kitty Town. And, it's
the cat house.
And it is feeding you. It's early Facebook. Had an earlier algorithm that was really about connecting people, and it was you might like Bob, so here's some of Bob. Now it's like, we noticed that you spend a millisecond longer on your scroll when we show you things that upset you or frighten you or turn you on, whatever those 3 things are, and it doesn't matter because it's all the same. Fear porn.
Yeah.
Right.
And then they've got you and they are feeding you that. And so I think there is that culpability. And it is a form of kind of censorship when your feed is narrowed because you're being exposed to what they think they can make money off of your attention from, not what they think is best for you to watch or most interesting or even what you like the most.
Right. But you're signing up for it.
Yes.
That's the irony of it.
You plug your brain in.
You're plugging it
right back to
that liking. So and I always forget if it's 2012 or 2014 when they introduced the dislike button, and that's when they found out that wow, people pay a lot more attention to stuff they hate than stuff they like. They found out, the dark side, the negativity was a stronger draw. And it started pulling people down into these areas, and you get people that get radicalized in all sorts of situations for it. So you're right. It's a combination between censorship, but it's all about everything they can do to curate what's in your feed and what's coming at you so that you'll continue to participate and be there and have all of your likes and dislikes and attitudes and friends and everything mined for the almighty dollar.
And controlled. And in this time of extreme division, should we not look to those in control of the feed as having culpability in that division, or at least have that awareness? Even it was a big thing for me just to wake up and realize, even after starting a weed magazine 15 years ago and realizing that the government was lying to us on many things.
Yes.
And still I fell for so much of the narrative and the things are good. Companies are good to look out for you. Everyone wants to be kind. And that's not the reality of the feed.
Well,
once you're awake, you can start to unplug.
Yes.
You can start to say,
you can see the code in the Matrix.
For lack of a better term. And I think that's what we need more of.
And in the second segment, we'll talk about how it's influenced by public perception, exactly what you guys are talking about. But first, Tom, it's time for you to play Don't Tread on My Trademark.
You think you own your own name?
It's a registered trademark.
Think again.
Didn't copyright it. Lost millions.
It's time to check the fine print. This is Don't Tread on My Trademark.
Yeah, man, you're the guy for this show. For this game and show. Jesus.
Tom.
Whew, I lost track. Can we start over?
No.
I'm just kidding, Mary. Tom, the United States sees over 300 trademark infringement lawsuits go to court every year. Can you name the company embroiled in the flames of this big market legal battle? By the way, it's not the McDonald's one.
Okay, good.
Number 1. In 2008, Payless Shoe Company lost a trademark case that cost them $305 million for selling an in-house lower-cost athletic shoe that was notoriously fashioned with 3 stripes.
I do know this case.
And the company?
Adidas.
That's correct.
Yeah.
The massive German-based shoe and apparel company claimed that its brand could be tarnished by association with a lower quality product, which would dilute the value of its famous 3-stripe logo. This is believed to be the largest verdict in a trademark case to date.
Wow.
Now, number 2. In the mid-1990s, the 2 founders coined the name Backrub for their early search engine that would become one of the biggest corporations in the world. They later changed their name to the current company's trademark, effectively avoiding potential infringement conflicts with other businesses using Backrub in their marketing efforts. What's the name of that company?
Google.
That's correct.
There you go. No way.
Actually, the name of the company is Alphabet if you ever go looking for the stock.
Yeah.
Alphabet.
Go figure.
Who got punked this time, AJ? My ass, that's who. It's making it look real easy.
Backrub, I was like, Backpage was the biggest company in the world?
Damn.
For certain things.
Yeah. Porn and cannabis.
Yes.
And number 3, this case involved the first white rapper in the world to achieve commercial success with a breakout hit single who was subsequently sued by Queen and David Bowie for ripping off their hit Under Pressure.
Your boy Vanilla Ice.
That's it.
Yeah. Dun, 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 dun.
Get some.
Ice, baby.
That was the song, Ice Ice Baby. Both
Something
parties,
Van Winkle or whatever.
Rob Van Winkle.
See, there you go.
There you go. Both parties agreed to a private settlement. Instead of going to court, Vanilla Ice bought the rights to Under Pressure, and all credit has been going to Bowie and Queen since. Not a bad dude, right?
Good job.
All right. Hey, if you want to discover cannabis news, reviews, entertainment, and culture, and explore every single Leaf magazine at your convenience, search leafmagazines.com. Coming up in our second segment, we'll dive into how public perception is highly influential to directing government policy when creating laws that involve censorship. We'll get another spin of AJ's wheel and kick it all off with another episode of Who Does That with Mary J. White. Leaf Life continues in just a moment.
These products have intoxicating effects and may be habit-forming.
Marijuana can impair concentration, coordination, and judgment.
Do not operate a vehicle or machinery under the influence of this drug.
There may be health risks associated with consumption of these products.
For use by adults 21 and older.
Keep out of the reach of children.
Some of the wardrobe, including Ricker or Wes's sick lids, is provided by Grassroots California. Check out the dopeness at grassrootscalifornia.com.